previously we talked about you doing automations with your cell phone. So now you're ready for the next step, which is creating your smart home. So these are Wi-Fi plugs. These are Wi-Fi bulbs. Again, if you're a starter, you should probably just start with one of these just to get things going. So these connect directly to the internet. If the internet is down, these won't work. So you could probably get both of these for less than $10, which is not bad. Again, you are starting your smart home. You're trying to keep the cost down, but you want to be able to have the opportunity to control your house. Once you get started with that process, we'll talk more about these. These are Zigbee products. So with Zigbee products, you're going to need a hub. These devices connect directly to this, and they communicate with this, and that communicates directly to the internet. The difference between the two is these cost a little bit more, but if the internet is down, these still communicate with the hub. So you can still control your house remotely if you're connected to the network with a hub. So hubs, this is a Home Assistant Green. These typically run anywhere from $80 to $100. Great product. You typically will need some type of device that communicates with Zigbee or Z-Wave, that communicates with these devices, because these don't communicate directly out the box. Whereas these, you don't need a hub at all. So again, it's very inexpensive, but they come with pros and cons. Internet is down, you're not controlling these products. So if you decide to leave something on, your internet goes down, you can't control it when you're away from home. You won't be able to control these away from home, but at least with the internet down, you can still control things. And depending on what type of devices you have connected in your house, you can still use voice controls as well. So you finally have your bulb and your smart plug, and then you're interested in voice controls. So you got your Google speaker, got your Amazon speaker. I'm not going to say that name because I don't want to trigger anything for the folks who already have it. Which one should you buy? The answer is you should get both. You can probably find these anywhere from $10 to $15. Sometimes you get them for free if you subscribe to certain things like Spotify for 3 months. This bad baby, you just wait until Prime Day and get these things for around $15. These both have their pros and cons as well. But the reason why you should get both is, let me tell you about the best thing about them. They work exceptionally well with Home Assistant once you start getting more advanced. And here is some of the things I do like about them. This device right here works with Home Assistant, and even if the internet is down, you can still get some form of communication with these devices. In other words, if you have your smart camera set up, your internet is completely down, you have your Home Assistant set up, you can still get notified that someone's moving outside of your house without internet. So yes, your security system can still work with these devices here. With the Amazon speaker, these guys put together a really cool feature. It's called Amazon Actionable Notifications. This is done by the Home Assistant community. So when you use this device directly with Home Assistant, you can create this where it will ask you questions. So instead of you always asking, why not have this ask you questions? This doesn't necessarily have that feature. So instead of you saying turn the lights on, maybe something happens around the house and this will ask you, do you want to turn the light on? And you can say yes or no. Or do you want to adjust the thermostat? What do you want to adjust it to? But again, that only works directly here with these Home Assistant products. So keep that in mind. So great features. Other pros and cons. Google just got into the more of the routine process, and now they're bringing situations of conditions. Amazon does have some great automation features, but they don't have all of your products there. So certain things that you want to trigger that automation, this doesn't have it. This doesn't necessarily have everything that triggers it, but it has a few more items than this. So again, both have their pros and cons. If you have the opportunity to spend $20, $25, get them both. So just get all 4 of these products and you should be somewhere under $40. Now, when we talk about these Zigbee devices, these plugs are repeaters. So if you've ever been in a situation where your Wi-Fi range is not working, maybe you have that further from the hub than you want it to, and then you're running into situations where it's not communicating the way it's supposed to. So something to keep in mind with these Wi-Fi products, most of them pretty much work off of 2 gigahertz. So that's the slower speed, The range is further versus a 5 gigahertz speed, which it's much faster, but the range is much shorter. So again, these pretty much work off 2 gigahertz. I don't have any smart plugs or smart bulbs that work off 5 gigahertz here. So something to keep in mind when you're doing your purchases. So again, with these repeaters, this will repeat the signal so you can get more range across your house, especially if you have a more square footage, which is my issue that I had to deal with here, trying to get my signals all across the house. So let's take these two for a spin just so you can get an idea of how they work. The Amazon speaker, you can give a separate name. Ziggy, turn on the office TV. Now again, because it is internet based, once the internet is down, you can't really use that Amazon speaker the way you want to, as far as getting notifications when something's going on in or outside of the house. So it's just something to keep in mind. So let's look at the speed on how fast they respond. This is Wi-Fi. Ziggy, turn on the office light. Okay, Google, turn on the office light. Kind of disappointing how long it takes Google to do all of that thinking before it responds. That stands correct for the smart plugs as well. Ziggy, turn on the office heater. Ziggy, turn off the office heater. So when it comes to speed, the Amazon speaker is the clear winner. But again, if you're going to be doing this for the long haul and you want to start getting more advanced at Home Assistant and what it has to offer, you still want to go ahead and consider your Google speaker. You won't regret it, especially when you want to get those automations to work without the internet. Smart bulbs I like are aluminum smart bulbs. Again, they cost a little bit more than regular Wi-Fi bulbs, but you won't be disappointed in their quality. Also like day better bulbs. They've been pretty efficient. These bulbs are designed to give you 10,000 hours, I believe it is. Don't expect to get that out of every single bulb. I've had some that actually have gone out indoors. For smart plugs, I would say GoSung products are pretty good. So you want to make sure that the Wi-Fi products that you use work with Smart Life. It's not mandatory, but I've had less issues with Smart Life working with the Amazon speaker and the Google speaker, and ultimately migrating over to Home Assistant before you start stacking up on Zigbee products. Most smart bulbs, to program them, basically turn the power off and on usually sometime around 3 to 5 times. For smart plugs, you typically just hold the buttons down and you hold it until it starts flashing. And again, it's something very important that I told you early on in this. They work off of 2 gigahertz signals. This day and age, most internet providers are finally giving us like super speed, so you're getting a lot of 5G around the house. So the issue with the 5G is if you're too close to the hub, it's going to probably send out a 5G signal. So what you may have to consider is, if you don't have any internet or any technical skills, you're going to have to split that internet up from a 2G and a 5G. Or you're just going to have to get further and further away from your hub to get that 2G signal. Let's take a look at programming for the Amazon speaker. What you want to do is go up to your plus sign here in the upper right hand corner, click on to routines, which will create a new routine for automation. We're going to click add an event. Here in added event, you'll have a bunch of different options that you can select to start this automation on. We're going to use a voice automation trigger. The automation is triggered when I use these specific phrases. Next, we're going to add an action. We're telling the automation what we want done when we say these phrases. As you can see, there's a ton of different options that you can set up to automate here, but it doesn't have conditions. And conditions are certain things that you want met before that automation is run. What's disappointing about the Amazon setup is not all of your smart devices are going to be available to trigger an automation. You're sort of limited to sensors like your doorbell sensor, your cameras, or door sensors, not necessarily all of your smart devices such as a light or a TV. Next, let's take a look at Google Home. Once you get here, you'll have the option to do automations as well. Google recently rolled out a new process that allows you to use conditions. The disappointing thing is not all of your products show under this new setup. However, if you do want all of your items to show, there's 3 dots in the upper right hand corner that'll allow you to go back to the previous automation system. So everything that you've connected to Google will then be available for you to automate, such as scripts, voice controls, even your phone. To sum it up, you should consider just buying a couple of Wi-Fi products. Play around with the automations after you get them connected to Google and the Amazon speaker, because ultimately you're going to get here to this Home Assistant stage, and that's where the fun really is going to begin. So be patient with yourself, and you'll have the same exact setup. Ziggy, turn off the office.
Will I hit the big stage? Will I hit the big stage? Oh, yeah. Will I feel the glory? Glory. Now late at night when I'm sleeping,
This is a key
dreaming of me receiving an award
And this
from
is a
my
watch that controls the car with
Everybody
gestures.
is equal, showing love to my people. If you're with me, I see you. Man, it's so